Okay, guys, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching from. Please like, subscribe, and share. Right, hit the subscribe button right here, and check out my book on Amazon.com. Hip Hop and Igbo Culture by yours faithfully, Martin Evangelist. Thank you. Stick around for the news.
Ekene Maria, Egypt na Gracia, Osebru Anonyeli, Edengos next Tiboronine, others and Gos Buma forgive Jesu. Maria Gaso, Nenke Chuku, Riabala Bondinja, yo, Kita Namano, Amen. Dabalanya, your own Nenke Chuku Jaso, I will not one cake, Ayo. Ana yogi uchuku kirinye brasa ilimo biai kaibu ndianja kuteluzama wemali wela rukesti mwari tena afia nubia wekatano stena mbitena uya stena Kristi dimenani amen. Otitodere na mwana monso etodere na kwenine luwebebe amen. Otitodere na mwana monso etodere na kwenine luwebebe amen. Otitodere na mwana monso etodere na kwenine luwebebe amen. Kabulo bindili nekwere no galaga
Chineke dị ike niile gọzie ụnụ nna na nwa na mmụọ nsọ.
Ebere abịala ga-esite na nkwado ndị Love Bite Foods and Beverages Limited Nnozi. Ndị na-alụpụta Love Bite Bread nọ na nọmba 1 Motu Mmaduka Close, Umuru Nnozi, 081-4982-8254.
Ebona the FM, 24 hours of informative, educative, and entertainment programs. Can't stop, won't stop. On Ebona the 103.5 FM. Listen to news updates on Ebona the 103.5 FM immediately after engine 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebona the FM breaks the news with actualities.
And believe that if we are hoping for a new Nigeria,
You can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM.
Good evening and welcome to Ebona, the 103.5 FM news update today, Tuesday, the 5th day of March 2024, and the time is 4 minutes past the hour of 6. Martin Evangelist Ekeze is my name. The headlines. Alleged 4 billion naira fraud. Court to hear Obiano's motion challenging jurisdiction March 7th. Abia workers to get 35,000 naira wage award, says Oti. During a Thanksgiving Mass in Ifitedunu, Anambra Catholic priest explains why Christianity adopted Sunday as worship day. Donald Trump wins U.S. Supreme Court fight to remain on ballots ahead of Super Tuesday primaries. Now, details. Alleged 4 billion naira fraud. Court to hear Obiano's motion challenging jurisdiction March 7th. A federal high court in Abuja has fixed March 7th to hear a motion filed by a former governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, challenging the jurisdiction of the court to hear the alleged 4 billion naira fraud charge filed against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The FCC arraigned Obiano on January 24th on a 9-count charge of money laundering that he had filed a motion challenging his jurisdiction to try the matter. However, the counsel to the EFCC, Silvanus Tahi, told the court that the prosecution served him the motion on Monday morning in court and he was yet to file a reply. Justice Inyangekwu told the prosecutor to file his response to the motion by the counsel to the defendant and not to tell the court what to do. Abia workers to get 35,000 naira wage award, says Oti. Abia State Governor Alex Oti says his administration is looking at the issue of 35,000 naira wage award approved by the federal government for workers with a view to implementing it. He spoke yesterday when he received executive members of the Nigerian Labour Congress Abia State Council who were on a working visit. He said a committee had been set up to that effect, that he had submitted his first report. Dr. Oti, however, said he had directed the committee to deepen its works and report to him, adding that he had instructed the finance commissioner to look at the discriminatory salary structure for health workers as it concerned consolidated health salary structure. The governor said his administration would look into salary-owned workers in ministries, departments, agencies, and parastatals, including ABSU, ASUBEB, ISCETA, Abia Poly, primary school teachers, among others, by the previous administration. During a Thanksgiving Mass in Ifitedunu, Anambra Catholic priest explains why Christianity adopted Sunday as worship day. The Federal High Court in Abuja on Wednesday, January 10th, fixed March 20th to deliver judgment in a suit filed by Mr. Ugochukwu Uchenwa, a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church seeking to stop the conduct of elections and examinations on Saturdays. Justice James Omotosho set the date after hearing arguments from both sides of the case. Mr. Uchenwa, an elder of the church, argues that scheduling elections and examinations on Saturdays violates his and other church members' rights to freedom of worship. He claims it forces them to choose between their religious beliefs and participating in civic duties or educational opportunities. Meanwhile, the parish priest of St. Gabriel Catholic Church, Ifitedunu, during the Thanksgiving Mass of late Mrs. Florence Egodi Mwabeze, the priest explained why Christianity adopted Sunday instead of Saturday as worship day of God. Here is a report. Please take a listen.
As Nigerians await the verdict on the suit filed by a member of the Seventh-day Adventists, Mr. Ugochukwu Uchenwa, on the 20th of March 2024 at the Abuja High Court, a suit which seeks to stop elections and exams on Saturday. Anambra Catholic priest explains the reason why Christians adopted Sunday as a day of worship of God. The parish priest of St. Gabriel Catholic Church, Ifitedunu, made this clarification during the Thanksgiving Mass of late Mrs. Florence Egodi Mwabweze, who he described as a vicious woman that possesses the fruits of the Spirit. The first son of the deceased, Mr. Rapuruchukwu Udoba Mwabweze, mentioned those virtues of hers as being straightforward, patient, and long-suffering. Her daughter-in-law, Mrs. Doris Nwabeze, who hails from Aba, just like her mother-in-law, prayed for her to make it to the bosom of the Lord.
Mrs. Ebele Atusioba from Iriaba, the Thanksgiving Mass in St. Gabriel's Catholic Church, Ifitedunu, eulogized her friend and in-law as someone who keeps the peace in her neighborhood. Mrs. Loving Nwabeze made a promise to her late mother-in-law, who was buried on Thursday, the 29th day of February 2023. She promised to assume her duties as well as to put all the advice she gave her into action.
Some certain advice on them. So he promised me those advice on them. They keep your next year. We all were born on my family were
her second son, Engineer Ezechukwu Mwabweze, also known as Ezeku, described his late mother as organizer and peacekeeper, as he promised to carry his siblings along.
Normally, a woman go and organize, so I'm coming as organizer on a bump on it can other life you are gonna get on it to see women. So in terms of I'm as an organizer. Then in case after me as women you're gonna get a small opportunity today. I ain't this one on our drive on our project. So I'm after as women in terms of now all my remote. Ọ ga-abụ ihe mara mma na ọ bụrụ na anyị gbaa mbọ mụ na ụmụnne m maọbụ ndị ọbụla nọ ya nso gbaa mbọ mụta ka esi enwe ndidi n'ibe. Nke mbụ ọ na-enwe ndidi n'ihe, nke ịbụọ ọ bụ sọmbọdị na-atachi obi nwe spirit of resistance, ọ na-atachi obi ọ na-eme ihe no matter ọjọọ n'ibe ọ dịghị n'anya na akwụkwọ data ihe ndị ọ na-abịa ọ na-ene anya na ya bụ ihe ga-esi na apụta at the end. Mkpa m na-ekwe ọbụna nnukwu opportunity ọbụla nke mbụ na mma try everything possible ka m maintain a peace n'etiti mụ na ụmụnne m. Then nke abụọ nke ọzọ m na-ekwe na ọ bụrụ na no matter the little nwa na mma try everything possible ka m carry ụmụnne m along.
From St. Gabriel's Catholic Church in Ifitedunu, Anambra State, Martin Ifeanyichukwu Ekeze reported.
Now we move over to the foreign scene. Donald Trump wins U.S. Supreme Court fight to remain on ballots ahead of Super Tuesday primaries. The U.S. Supreme Court has ruled Donald Trump cannot be disqualified from running for president under a constitutional clause referencing insurrection. The justices of the Supreme Court unanimously overturned the decision by Colorado's top court to keep him off the ballot. The state had no authority to block him. The justices of the Supreme Court unanimously overturned the decision by Colorado's top court to kick the former president off the state's Tuesday Republican primary ballot after finding that the U.S. Constitution's 14th Amendment disqualified him from again holding public office. The Colorado court had found that Mr. Trump took part in an insurrection for inciting and supporting the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol by his supporters. But the Supreme Court is determined that only Congress can enforce the constitutional provision against the federal office holders and candidates. This is where we draw the curtain on news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. But before we leave, a quick look at the headlines. Alleged 4 billion naira fraud. Court to hear Obiano's motion challenging jurisdiction March 7th. Abia workers to get 35,000 naira wage award, says OT. During a Thanksgiving Mass in Ifitedunu, Anambra Catholic priest explains why Christianity adopted Sunday as worship day. Donald Trump wins U.S. Supreme Court fight to remain on ballots ahead of Super Tuesday primaries. You just listen to news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. News produced and read by Martin Ifitedunu Ekeze. Thank you for listening. Good evening.
Listen to news updates on Ebona, the 103.5 FM immediately after Angeles, 6 o'clock a.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. weekdays. Stay tuned to be updated, to be informed. News updates, live reports. Ebona FM breaks the news with actualities.
I believe that if we are hoping for a new Nigeria,
you can as well listen online via mixlr.com/GistFM.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebona FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be. Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community, Street report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifitedunu, as Anambra the first every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebona 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds in your face. On Ebona the corner 24/7, 24/7.
Nwanne m ndị oyibo si home is where the heart is. Anyị wee bulie aga n'Igbo wee sị nwanne ebe ife ọma dị ụgbọ na-aga aga ka anyị na-eso. Nwanne every time m batara Anambra ka m nọlụ nwa aṅụlị obi m na-akụ Resident Leofi n'ogidi egbugo m. Nwanne they cannot disappoint. Ịbata na residency ifunu rooms and suites luxuriously furnished. Nwanne ka m gwa gị nke bụ eziokwu, Residency Hotel nwere a restaurant ọ na-abịa ịbata dị asaa abụọ gị local and intercontinental foods and beverages ọ ga-abịa ilisie ido arụ. Nwanne banyesa nọ na bar where you are served with drinks, wines and spirits brewed in different parts of the world. In the midst of everything, security is 24/7. Residency Hotel,
Guys, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share. Right? Hit the subscribe button right here. Remember to check out my book. Check out my book on Amazon.com. Hip Hop and Igbo Culture by yours faithfully, Martin Ifitedunu. Thank you for joining. And hello.